Hey y'all, welcome to my channel, Budgeting My Abundance. I am the Abundant Mama, and this is the channel where it's me documenting my journey to living a more financially free and independent life, and me as well, just giving you guys all the tidbits and information that I learn along the way. So if you want to go ahead and take this journey with me, hit that like and subscribe button, and let's go ahead and grow together. So today, we are doing a budget with me video, and your girl, like the title says, has a new job. Girl is gainfully employed. What? So we are budgeting my first paycheck, and what is different is I used to get paid every week. With this new job, it is actually on a bi-weekly basis, and this is what I am budgeting for. I've only worked 1 week, and I lucked out. It was one of those kind of the in-between weeks or whatever, so when payday came, I had enough hours where I can actually get paid. So I didn't have to wait like the next week or whatever. So we're gonna go ahead and budget $560, and I am my binders are actually going to change a little bit. So there are some things I'm going to be adding, and maybe a few things I may be taking off of my binder to budget. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is just write out my categories. So of course my car note, my phone bill, the insurance, my debt, and one of the new ones that I'm adding on to this is daycare. You know what? I think I'm going to take debt. I'm going to add debt, but I'm just going to put debt under a different category. Debt is not going to be, as much as I want to like do this whole debt snowball thing, and I'm going to do it, it's just, I don't want it with my bills. So I may be getting a new binder as well, so I can have one just for specifically bills, another one for like my savings or whatever, and then, or maybe one that shares the savings and sinking funds, and then another one for my business, because y'all know I'm trying to start up my Etsy. So I got the idea of having a binder specifically for the business, and I'm gonna get a little bit further. I'm gonna discuss it a bit more when I get to that area. So we have that. And then the total, and then the wallet, and the wallet's gonna have gas. Count this as groceries, and then miscellaneous. And for groceries, I'm gonna explain that as well. And then savings. That's my 10%. And then my sinking. And I use the zero-based budgeting system when I budget. So that means every dollar is basically going to be accounted for. Let me see if you guys can see that. Every dollar is going to be accounted for. So I do have a buffer that I'm going to leave, but every dollar has a specific place to go in the job that is, supposed to do when I do this. So normally with when you are paid on a bi-weekly basis, whatever your bill is, like for example, my car note is $289. So that means that since it's bi-weekly, I'm getting paid every 2 weeks. I would take $289 and divide that in half. I divide that by 2. And so my total would be $144.50. And I'm gonna just round up that 5 to make it $145. So I would put $145 to the side in this envelope to make sure that when that car note is due, I would have the amount that I need, that $289 for that bill. And it's the same thing with all your other bills. You basically just divide them in half. That way you put half of that amount into your envelope when you get your first paycheck, and then the other half in the envelope the second time you get your paycheck. I'm gonna do it a little bit different. I'm going to just go ahead and do my normal 73, because when I get my next paycheck, that'll be right before the car note is due, and I can go ahead and double that, because my last stuffing I did 73. So this is adding up to, into when I stuff in the next video, I actually should have, that should equal up to about $144 or $46. Let's see. Okay, so the next thing I'm gonna do is my phone bill, and normally my phone bill is $18, because I would pay $72 divided by 4 equals 18. I'm actually going to go ahead and double this amount and pay the 36, because when my next paycheck comes, will be literally right before the due date of my phone bill. So I'm just going to go ahead and double up on that. So I'm going to do 36 now, so when the next paycheck comes, I'll pay that other 36. I'll stuff that other 36, and I'll have the full amount. Insurance is going to get 65. And then for daycare, I'm actually going to do 150. The daycare my son goes to is paid on a weekly basis, and they charge $75 a week. And before you're like, where is he going? And blah, blah, blah. I got to hook up. I'm going to leave it at that. So what I'm going to do is just total this up. And let's see. 73. So you guys can see. 73 plus 36 plus 65 plus 150 equals 324. So that's going to be my total. And then I'm going to subtract that from the 560. So 560 minus 324 equals $236. So that's what I have remaining. Now I'm going to pay myself back first, so I'm going to add this $56. And then for debt, I'm going to do 30. For my gas, now my new job, I am not working at home. That's the only downside, is I'm no longer working at home, so I do have to leave the house to drive. But it's okay. So I'm going to go ahead and put 60 in my tank and see how well that works for me. And then after the 2 weeks, like, I have a buffer, so if I need to get more gas, if the 60 isn't enough and I need to get more gas, then I can do so. But we're going to go ahead and try this 60 and see if that works, and see if that lasts me the 2 weeks. For groceries, I'm actually just going to do $20. And it's groceries, but at the same time not groceries. I found a farmer's market that are near my, like in my city. And they're a traveling farmer's market every Sunday. I think they're in a different location, but they have an Instagram and they always post where they're going to be. So what was so cool is I went and I got like $45 worth of veggies for like $20. So I'm going to be hitting up this farmer's market for a while. For now, I'm just going to bring 20. I got a lot of fruits and veggies. I'm actually on the last bit of fruits and veggies, so I'm probably going to go on Sunday. But I liked it. And for miscellaneous, I'm going to come back to miscellaneous. But I had 236, so I'm going to go ahead and subtract that. Oh, I forgot to add my total. My total here. So 236 minus 16 and 20 is 80, so minus 80 equals 156 for now. Minus this 56 that I'm paying myself means I have a remainder of $100 that minus this debt was 30, so I have 70. I have investments that I'm working on. Holidays, What else? My car maintenance. Actually, my emergency fund should be at the top, but I will change that later. So the emergency is probably going to get 20. So minus 20. So that means I have 50 that I need to use between miscellaneous. You know what? Miscellaneous will probably get like $5. So now I have $45 to split between investments, holidays, and car maintenance. Let's see. I am going to put maybe another $5 for holidays. And then $20 for car maintenance and $20 for investments. So to total this up, because the goal is to have it where every dollar is spent, and so it should equal 0, subtracting everything. We're gonna go ahead and do that math. So we already know that the 73 and 36, 65, 150, and 320 is going to equal that 236. Well, it's going to equal 324, and then once we subtract that 324 from the 560, we have a remainder of 236. So 236 minus 60 and 20 is 80, plus that 5 is 85. So minus 85 is going to leave 151. So that's the remainder. Let's see. Savings is $56. That's my total. And so 56 from 151 is going to leave 95. So 95 minus 30 equals 65, minus 20 equals 45, minus 5 equals 40, minus 20 equals 20, minus that other 20. It's going to give us 0. So there you have it. That is my new budget with my new bi-weekly pay schedule. At least for now. This is just this is like I said, I only got paid for 1 week because I kind of came in between like a mid pay schedule. So when I actually do my next budget, it will show like my total amount as I've worked 2 weeks, and then I can double up, because that's basically, groceries may end up moving up to $40, but because I only worked 1 week, so I only have 1 week's worth to pay, this is what I use. So chances are everything's going to kind of go up because I have more money to play with. But this is how I'm making it work for now. So thank you guys for watching me and sharing in my excitement, although it's very downplayed because it's late at night and I'm tired. I worked this morning as I did my budget. That's all I got for tonight. Don't forget to like and subscribe this video. Leave a comment if you have any questions or just feel like chatting. And I will see you guys in the next one. Abundant Mama out. Bye.